Hey, shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome back. I thank you again for joining me today. Hey, today I want to read a little article. It's called out of a booklet called "Make God Your Financial Partner." It's an old book by a fellow named Raymond McNair, and it's just one little teeny section here, and it's about the prosperity gospel. Of course, it just caught my eye, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So let me just read along what he says about this. Starts out here. Some ministers preach a gospel of prosperity rather than the true gospel of Yeshua Messiah. But often it appears that their pleas for others to freely give are primarily designed to line their own pockets. They guarantee all manner of abundance and wealth to everyone who contributes generously. But beware, this is simply another false message from spiritual impostors. Some who have been persuaded to tithe, who gave selfishly in order to get, have become very disappointed when Yahweh did not immediately open the windows of heaven to pour out an overflowing blessing of material riches. They have experienced the same result as those who pray to Yahweh just to get things from Him. You ask and you do not receive because you ask amiss, that you may spend it on your pleasures. And that's from the book of James, chapter 4, verse 3. Check that out. What has gone wrong with such cases? Is Yahweh unfaithful, untrustworthy? Hardly. But many of his promises are based upon our meeting certain divinely imposed conditions. In the Old Testament times, Yahweh often told the Israelites that if they would do such and such, then he would give them certain blessings and rewards. You can find that in Leviticus chapter 26 and Deuteronomy chapter 29. We have seen that our Creator does solemnly promise to bless all who faithfully tithe to him and his work, and that he never breaks his promise. But the richest blessings are spiritual rather than material. If we have the attitude of vanity and material lust, we may not recognize Yahweh's greatest gifts. Another important concept to understand is that sometimes Yahweh delays giving us what he has promised. Yahweh told Abraham that his descendants would inherit the land of Canaan, but he didn't tell Abraham exactly when they would possess the land. From the time of this promise, which was around 1876 BCE, until the Israelites actually left servitude in Egypt to start their journey toward the promised land, was a period about 430 years. Exodus chapter 12, verses 40 to 41. And you can also look at Galatians chapter 3, verse 17. And Yahweh gave him no inheritance in it, for not even enough to set his foot on. But even when Abraham had no child, Yahweh promised to give it to him for a possession and to his descendants after him. The book of Acts, chapter 7, verse 5. In fact, when Abraham's wife Sarah died, she had to purchase a burial place in Canaan from one of the Hittites. And you can find that in Genesis chapter 23, verses 12 to 16. Centuries later, when the Israelites left Egyptian bondage, Yahweh promised to take them to the promised land, and he fully intended for them to enter that land immediately. But when they rebelled, he delayed the nation's entry for 40 long years. That's in Numbers chapter 14. He tried and tested Israel so the nation would truly appreciate the blessings upon eventually receiving it. So even though Yahweh promises to truly bless those who faithfully give him tithes and free will offerings, he has never promised to grant us great material riches in this lifetime. Neither does he say we won't be tested for a period of time before he blesses us, either spiritually or materially. Don't ever be deceived. Listen to this. Don't ever be deceived by the essentially selfish message of the false and ungodly wealth and prosperity gospel. On the other hand, realize that Yahweh does promised to provide for all of our physical needs. And that's in Matthew chapter 6, verse 25 to 34. And that, in addition, he will liberally give us many of our desires. And that's can be found in Psalms chapter 37, 4, and then verses 25 to 26. So Mr. McNair actually hit this right on the head when he's talking about this. You got to be careful about that prosperity gospel nonsense. It's not spiritual rich enrichment and stuff's more important than the materialistic. We want lavish cars. We want 5 homes. We want all the good things. We want to live like millionaires, rock and roll stars, Wall Street people. Like for me, I'm just content. I got a roof over my head. I pay my bills. I'm up to date, not in debt, and I just live modestly, and I'm happy with that. And it keeps me close to my roots, how I was raised, and close to the biblical teachings. And that's all I want to say about it. I just figured I wanted to share that with you. I thought it was important, and take it as what it is. And anyways, comment below. Let me know what you think of and about this. And I've got a couple other videos about the prosperity gospel somewhere, my videos. And also, please give me a big thumbs up. Hit that notification bell and also subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. Till we meet again, friends, brothers, and sisters. Peace out and shalom.